I'm getting ready. Oh, now I look back to life. Gosh, kitties. I am finishing my coffee. I'm dressed. I have sweatpants on. I'm just wearing this blue shirt. I'm gonna bring a white one just in case my trainer wants me to change into a white one for the dressage test, but I think we'll be all right. Speaking of, let me go get that real quick before I forget. Okay, my Aztec diamond one. And then I probably need to bring a white sports bra because I have a black one on at the moment. What are you guys doing? Okay. So I am going to start getting the car packed. I'm going to put on my paddock boots. I've already got some stuff packed because I packed a little bit of stuff at the barn last night. Oh crap, I forgot my Apple Watch. I need to grab that. Okay. All right. Ugh, current status of our garage is very messy. Chihuahua pad. Okay. Let's start getting this stuff together. Okay. I'm going to grab this. To hang myself on. I'm actually going to grab these for the barn. I need to grab this. I need to make sure I have my hair nets, which I believe is in here. And those are so, yes. Okay. Well, I might just not be wearing a hair net today. Clean that right there. Okay. Saddle pad. This one for the royal blue for the cross country because I bought a Eco Gold pad weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and it's just not here. So that's cool. I need to grab this one because I'm doing dressage in my jump saddle. I know. I don't know if this is going to fit Rita. I think this is a medium. It's definitely not going to fit her, so maybe I'll use... Ooh. I wonder if that one will work. Probably not, but... Oh my god, I'm out of control this morning! I'm going to just turn my car on with the headlights so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. Alright. This is my car so far. Alright. I just left the gas station. I got post-show breakfast. So excited. And I ended up getting a little Starbucks coffee thingy. It's still dark out. It just turned 6 o'clock. I am going to hook up the trailer, fill her hay bag, and then I'm gonna run her around in the indoor a little bit because she was wild yesterday. Like snorting, tail straight up in the air, prancing, jigging, wild. So I ran her around twice yesterday. Like I typically in the wintertime, especially now because the pastures have been so wet, so they haven't been able to go out. They've been in. I run her around before I ride. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll see you when we get to the barn. Okay, I just got to the barn. I am going to feed and get her ready to go. Oh man. She gets oh. Manita. Hi, handsome boy. Oh. Someone must have been laying down sleeping, huh? Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping? Oh, hi, good morning, pretty girl. Are you hungry? Okay, now we're going to hook up the trailer. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. It's pretty chilly. Woo-hoo-hoo. It is really cold. Well, my hair is also still wet, so that probably doesn't help at all. But alright. I'm just going to park right here like we normally do. Okay. Are you so pretty? Are you so pretty? Okay, so I'm gonna get her groomed. This is her new halter. It's so beautiful. It's from Remarkable Mare or something, and it's got dealer Anita on it. Good girl. All right, let's get you brushed and all beautiful. You good girl? You a good girl? Yeah. So this was our dressage test. This was Novice A, I believe. This footing was just horrendous. It was like, it was concrete with some dirt over it. Like, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. So other than that, I mean, this was the best dressage test she has ever done. She was incredibly, incredibly calm. This was honestly worth us going, like, just the dressage test. I would have been fine had we not jumped or anything, because this test compared to the tests that we did at the NEC, whenever I took 10 and her, she was just a freaking nightmare. So she's got a couple moments where she comes above the contact and she was wanting to stretch, and it just truthfully, like, I mean, just the fact that she was calm in general was a win. So I'm really, really happy with how she did. And there was one part of this dressage test that I had an error on, which, again, I memorized this test before I got to the show the day of. I was like trying to memorize it in my car on the ride there because it was like an hour drive. And yeah, so the fact that I only had one error was fabulous, because when I have a reader, I end up having 2 errors. So that's pretty much a win for me. So yeah, I think we ended up getting a 34%, which was an equivalent to, I think, like a 65. And I think we would have gotten 67-ish or so without that rider error. So I'm really, 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 really happy with how she did, all things considered, with the footing in general at this event just being less, like, just, I probably wouldn't have gone had I known it was going to be this bad. So just keep that in mind while you continue to watch.
I really wanted to get it right, trying to find some balance in my life, but I never really put up a fight, didn't follow my dreams, and now I'm losing sleep. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. I never left a stone unturned, trying to find some love in this crazy world. I felt like I was never heard. All I wanted was to be loved. What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. You will find a way. Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. You'll make it in time. Time, 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 time. What makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. You will find a way. Slow it down, dreams still yours if you want it. Enjoy the ride, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth the while. You will make it in time. You'll make it in time. Time, time. You'll make it in time.
Super simple. one for... I mean, Renito could be. So that's what that's probably beginner novice. Yeah, it says red bunny. Oh shit.
I mean, she can do it easy. I'm just
I hope so. I mean, I guess we can go back and look.
I mean, they're right next to each other. So
Yeah.
You just need to
Yeah.
so, I mean, those. Site of the fence, you have to present to the judge.
Didn't we just do? Wait, I guess that was 9. Am I?
No, I think that's right.
Okay.
11 is that fresh.
Okay. So up the hill. And then, does this make you want to do it?
No,
No, not at all.
I would do.
I'm good.
Just go over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Doesn't need a huge approach.
No, not for this one. Circle it 18 times. So this is our show jump round. We actually got eliminated during this round. They started early. I had my ride time and I was getting tacked up, and while I was getting tacked up, Debbie was like, "You're up," and I'm like, "Wait, what? Am I late?" So I didn't even get to warm up at all. I got to rush to tack up and got up to the gate, learned the course really quickly, and then started. So she did not go over any warm-up fences before this, just to preface that. And this footing was absolutely disgusting. Like, she was sinking into the ground. Like, honestly, studs wouldn't have really even done anything. So we had 4 refusals in this round. One being the first fence. She started to slip and was like, "Yep, nope, not doing it. I'm not warmed up. I haven't done it." So I was like, "Well, crap, okay. Let me turn around." And so I go back around and I'm going to try and start riding a little more aggressively. You can see I'm pushing, and then she ducks out at the last minute. And so then we turn around. I'm a little frustrated at this point, but not at her. So I circle after, like, we could have 2 refusals. So anything after that, we would have gotten eliminated. So I was like, okay, so we've hit our 2. Hopefully this will go fine. So now I'm pushing. She tried to refuse again. And this foot, like, you can see her sliding. Like, it was really bad. So then we come here. She kind of backs off, so I push. Obviously not the nicest. I keep pushing. This is honestly the most I've ever had to push her, and it actually gave me some great information because she needs probably about 15 to 20. Then there's our 3rd refusal where we got eliminated. But she needs like 15 to 20 warm-up jumps to get her fired up, especially at a new place. So this is honestly was really, really good information. So after that refusal, we were obviously eliminated, but it's obviously just a schooling show. So if it was something that was dangerous, they would have probably asked me to leave. But obviously with a schooling show, they see that we're working through it. It's not like, the horse was like going nuts or whatever. It just, she was unsure of the footing. She jumped that one really nicely. And then we come around to this oxer. and I pushed her to that, but she ended up jumping that okay. And we come back around to jump this single vertical that she refused at twice, the opposite direction, and I push. She goes over that, jumps that nicely. See, she's just slipping, you know, it just is not, there's a lot of refusals because of the footing. She kind of looked at that one a little bit, kind of looked at that one a little bit too, but I just kept pushing her through and didn't really give her time to think about it. But yeah, so that was that, but we were still able to continue on to do our cross-country course. This was the first fence. Come up and around here, and then we come down the hill, and she slips here, gets a little bit upset, and then we kind of get off the angle for this jump, so there's a refusal. So I come around, pick up the right lead, and come back around to circle to it where I can find a path where the footing's okay. I'm pushing her to it, she jumps it really nicely, and then we kind of go up through this area up here, and then it's downhill, and then obviously parts where you can't see. So we had 3 refusals on cross country, that first one that you saw. The second one was a elephant trap, I think, and it just, again, the footing was just horrible. So you can kind of see going down here, you go downhill, cross water, she kind of was like, you know, and then you come up over the hill, there's a bank, and then up the hill, and then make a left-hand turn to come down to a rock fence. She kind of thought she was done after this, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but you kind of go down a hill through trees. I mean, it was a pretty tricky jump. So I had a feeling she was going to refuse it, and she did. So turned right back around, jumped her over it. I mean, the nice thing about these fences, though, I don't think she was refusing to be bad. She just was like, I'm not sure of this footing. And since this was my first time out on a cross-country course, I mean, she was kind of feeling my I don't know. So I don't blame her at all. Like this honestly was so much fun. So that was a ditch. She had no problems with that at all whatsoever. Come up the hill to this fence, and then you come down and around. And what you can't see in here is there is like, it's just straight mushy mud and water down like in that. It kind of goes down and then back uphill. So I had to go around that to come back to this jump over here. And that's where the last time you can see me comes through. And then I get through, I think it's 13 and 14, and then come up around and come up to a squirrel hole fence or something or whatever it was called. At this point, like, we've already gotten past like all of our refusals. She's feeling really, really good. I kind of pushed to this because I kind of felt like she was going to duck out a little bit, but I opened up my left rein, put my right leg on, and pointed her straight at it. Didn't really give her enough time to think about it. And then up over these logs, did really good there. Kind of had to woe down the hill a little bit because, again, slippery. And then we came up to this, pushed a little bit there, and then we're coming up to the last fence, and I was like, oh, thank God. So we're going, and then she sees the last fence, and she's like, yes! She kind of leaves me behind on it, but other than that, I was really, 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 really proud of her. It was so much fun. It is what it is. Like, it's no big deal. I really didn't care. I was just going for the experience. I was going for the information, and now we know what we need to do. Because we lunged her in the morning in side reins and got her just stretching really long. I lunged her for like 15 minutes. 15 minutes total. Or 20 minutes total. And then went in, did the dressage test, and she was like quiet, completely 100% amazingly quiet. She was so good. And that's the part that I was worried about. So then when it came to the jumping portion, mean, I felt like she was really uncomfortable with the footing and she just wasn't sure. So like, I didn't get after her too much because I'm just like, she knows more than I do when it comes to this stuff. So if she doesn't feel like she's going to make it over it, she doesn't jump it. I mean, if she feels like it's not going to be perfect, like she won't jump it. So that's some good information that we got today, like how to prep her for the dressage test and then also how to prep her for the show jumping cross country. So she probably needs to go over 15 or so warm-up jumps to get her like we have to calm her down for the dressage and then get her fired up for the jumping, because she's almost like, she went in there like she was just like, this is, oh shit, we're jumping, oh god, this footing is weird. So I think it was just a bunch of, I didn't really know how to prepare her, and neither did Debbie, because she just didn't know how she would, I mean, she's such a difficult horse to ride. She's not easy. And I mean, most people would be like, oh, they refuse so many fences, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, this horse literally wouldn't even walk a year ago. Like she was like head up in the air, like trying to take off. You couldn't let go and like just let her have a loose rein because she'd take off and bolt. I mean, she has come so far, and I'm so proud of how she did today. And I truly feel like her refusals were not just out of naughtiness. It was actually like legitimately out of concern of like, are we gonna make it over this fence? So she took care of me. And I mean, I'm so grateful, because when I turned her around to jump over the stuff, like if I got her back at the right distance, then she jumped it. But if we came up to it and it just didn't seem like it was legit for her, then she was like, oh no, we're not doing that. So I'm so proud of how she did. I'm like beyond happy, even though we did get eliminated. I mean, it's just like I've only taken her to 4 shows now, 2 jumper shows and a dressage show. And I was so proud of how she did after the dressage. Like she did phenomenal. I'm so freaking happy with her dressage test, even though I messed it up, because Debbie told me at the last horse show, she's like, yeah, you have to memorize your test. Like you don't have a reader. And I was like, oh, that's great. Okay, cool. So I just have to memorize it. Anyway, I totally forgot. And I ended up forgetting that she's pawing in the trailer right now. So I ended up forgetting that I had to memorize my dressage test. So I memorized it right before I went in, and I almost did it. But then I went off at one of the parts. Like it took a minute for them to, like, it was so smooth that I did it. But anyway, she did really good. I mean, there was a lot going on. There was a lot of horses that had refusals in the cross country portion. So would rather have what we did today, and have those those refusals because she was unsure of like the distance of the footing or whatever, than what else was going on. I mean, there were horses slipping around. There was knocking all the rails down. Like she didn't touch a rail. She just, I don't know. Like even when I went, because I rode maybe too, this was after all the course, like the footing was like just slop. It was so squishy and slip, like it just was dangerous. Like it was a suspensory injury waiting to happen. So I wasn't too thrilled about how it was put together, especially with the fact that they let schooling on the course when it was even more wet yesterday. So there were so many divots and stuff in the ground. Like it just, to the fact that they had to move one of the cross country jumps because of the footing in front of it. So I was just trying to be cautious. I mean, I could have probably pushed her and made her jump over them I could have made her not refuse. I mean, I really could, but I was just as unsure about the footing as she was. So Anyway, that is what happened. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Again, I don't know if my GoPro got any footage. Chances are that probably didn't, but hopefully it did. So that way you can see some of that. But I'm on my way home now, and I am going to drop her off, unpack, go home, and have a nice relaxing evening. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you have any questions, drop them down below. Otherwise, hit that notification bell if you would like to be notified when I post new videos.